I get where people are coming from, and I get some of the points that people made, but I just feel like there's holes that can't be corrected. And also, some of the conversations don't make sense backwards to me. Like, to me, it doesn't make sense that Eminem is going to call Paul and be like, yo, I had this crazy dream. And he's going to tell him all of this stuff that we wouldn't have experienced yet in the song because we're going backwards as opposed to forward when we experienced everything. It just, that the context of it makes way more sense in the right order. And then also Paul at the end of it being like F you or F off, or it blows him off and then hangs up. But then a couple, like one skit later, a couple songs later, Paul calls him and goes, yo, I heard the album, da 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 da. Like, to me, it makes more sense that that would happen first. Like someone saying you're on your own. And then like you try to call them later on and they just blow you off and hang up. Like, that to me is more like a realistic interaction. So there's just a lot of little things like that that I don't personally think make that much sense.
Right.
And then the whole, oh, well, it goes back to Renaissance where he killed Marshall and he's spitting on his grave. I'm like, but that spitting on his grave is from the trailer, which shows the Slim Shady grave. It's not a Marshall grave. Now, you could argue that he buried Marshall at his gravestone. So I guess that would be the argument that they're trying to make. But I just, to me, it just doesn't work in that order. And I also feel like the visuals, as much people, oh, well, dude, that's the video. That's not the song itself. But to me, I feel like the visuals are important. And I feel like the visuals are also there in some sense to lead you down a path. And so when I see the Toby video end with Slim Shady, which is who's always with the Jason mask, come behind Marshall as he's rapping and then hit him with the belt, like he says in the bar, and then the chainsaw and just and cut him up. So for me to start with the back and go forward, and then you see that scene happen right there, like it's already over to me. Like, to me, it makes more sense in the right order. Guilty Conscience is where it all culminates. They have this back and forth. Marshall, in his dream, or what he believes would be his dream, kills Slim Shady, but then he wakes up, calls Paul about it. Then the next few songs, it's kind of more Marshall, less Slim Shady, but then you have like the end of the Toby thing, which then goes into Guess Who's Back skit, which then goes into Somebody Save Me. And so to me, it just makes more sense. No one's ever gonna be able to convince me that it's meant to be backwards. People are creative. That's all it's doing. To me, that's what it's doing in the reverse theory. People are just, they want something to, they want to be the person that figured something else out that nobody did. And so they come up with these ideas, and then other people are like, oh, it kind of fits. And then you start to fill the holes yourself in your head because you want it to work. It just, to me, it just doesn't. It doesn't work out that way.